I hope you all are well and good. Your well-being is always my priority. Welcome to Shri FC. Do hit the like and subscribe. I know it's a boring thing, but it really helps the channel and the algorithms. So please like, please subscribe and hit that damn bell icon button. And I hope you all are having a great day. And it's time to get a teas, coffees, and discuss on the transfer rating, guys. And I'm going to cover only top 6 club because if I cover every Premier League club, no offense, I can be here for the whole day and do nothing because that's going to be long. So going to cover the 6 club: Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal. So do the like, subscribe, and stay till the end and let me know your opinion in the comment section. So starting off with the most chaotic club, that is Chelsea Football Club, and we are just a festival of transfer activities because when Chelsea and transfer window collide, it is massive. Just see the ins right now: Caicedo, Palmer, Lavia, and Cuckoo, Disasi, Jackson, Yuguchukwu, Sanchez, Petrovic, Washington, Angelo, Gabriel, Moreira. How many ins are there? And just see the outs. I'm not going to even say those many outs, just want to say Havertz, again, our outs have been really good. No disrespect to Kante, Kova, I love them to bits, but I think in terms of wage structure and Kante being so much injury prone right now, we had to let him go. I love Mason and will always respect him, but again, you cannot refuse 55 million for him. And then you go Kai Havertz, again, inconsistent player for us, won the Champions League for us, but a player you cannot refuse 65 million who hasn't consistently performed for 3 years. Ziyech is gone, Lukaku is gone, Pulisic again, untapped potential. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, it's been a fine window for us. We've reduced the wage structure. We've helped the transfer spending with the sale. So sales have been really good. But now coming on to the ins. And see, the problem is people for me are very reactive. A lot of people will rate Chelsea window D, C, E, B and half or something like that because Chelsea lost to Nottingham Forest. They are finished. They are awful. Todd Boehly doesn't know anything. And they might be right. But they might also look idiotic in some years, no disrespect here, when these young players reach the potential. Or on the other hand, I can be positive here and say these are some very good young players we have signed, but Chelsea can collapse. There will be egg on all the Chelsea scouts and owners' faces, and I might look like an idiot and we might be struck in top 10 in the league. And again, that's the problem with Chelsea. The players Chelsea have signed are not for the immediate success, they are for the future. You go on to the signing, only Caicedo is somewhat experienced in the Premier League, but he's still a very young player. Lavia is very young, and Cuckoo is experienced but injured right now. Cole Palmer is such a young player. Disasi in Premier League experience is young. You go to Angelo, Gabriel, and Diego Moreira. I think they're going to fight off with Noni Madueke and Palmer for the future position, and sadly one of them will be loaned again next season. You go on to another place we've got, and so many are young. Angelo Gabriel has just gone on loan, so nobody knows his potential, and this Chelsea side is so unknown. They can be great or they can turn out to be disappointing. They have so much potential, so this is why rating them on that base will be difficult for me. So I'm going with a simple 6.5 out of 10. You cannot rate them. It's all dependent on potential, but again, at the end of the season and end of next season, we'll know should Chelsea have gone with experience. Is it a good project or Todd Boehly has been a disaster? And that brings me to the second highest spenders, and Chelsea net spend here you can see on the screen. But now coming on to Arsenal, and Arsenal for me have had a very great window. What a window they've had, but I think they've been very unfortunate. Something in football you cannot control, and that is injuries. First of all, I wish the best to Julian Timber. It's really sad to see him injured, wishing the best for him. But this is something in football you can't predict. But could Arsenal have done something end of the window? I think they could have. If you see the outs, Granit Xhaka is a massive loss. But other than that, there's not many massive losses there. But I think letting Tierney go on loan, who was not in Arteta's plan, is the right decision. But the problem is, you left with Zinchenko, who I doubt defensively, and he even cannot stay fit for the whole season. And then you still have the problem of playing Tomiyasu at the left. Timber is injured, and I think they should have tried to sign a left back, but again, you just don't want to buy it for the sake of it. So again, Arsenal were in trouble, and injuries are something we cannot predict. I think in ins, Declan Rice is one of the best midfielder in the league. There's no doubt about that. That's an absolute upgrade. I think if Thomas Partey and they played together, and right now Partey is, I believe, injured, I'm not sure, but if they play together, that's a great midfield. I think Kai Havertz is a player I've said is a good deal for both parties. We get the money for an inconsistent player and we build forward. For Arsenal, they get a versatile player who can back up to Saka sometimes, who can play as a cam, who can play even along with Odegaard and can be a good backup. But I still don't believe Havertz is a starting 11 player for Arsenal, and that depends on Mikel Arteta. So I think it was not that bad signing. It was fine signing for both the clubs. And then David Raya, I always said if Ramsdale gets injured, which never happens, the problem for Arsenal is the drop is too much, and Raya is a top keeper which is going to push Ramsdale, and I like for a team to have two great goalkeepers. Why not? And then you go on to another Timber, and Timber was playing so well, could play so many positions, And if Timber was fit, I think Arsenal have minimum 8.5 out of 10 window, because they have really got more stronger than last year. But now I have to give it 7.5 out of 10, because sadly the injury is something you cannot predict, and I think they should have tried to sign at least someone. So coming on to the next club now, and that is Liverpool. And Liverpool, I've always said on this channel, are one of the best run club in the league. But this has been the most unlike Liverpool transfer window we've ever seen. It's been a total chaos. On the field, it's been good, but off the field, it's been total chaos by Liverpool. For a club which work in silence and they act like silent killers, they get the deal done, nobody even knows. But right now, Liverpool have been so transparent, they've embarrassed themselves. But again, I'm not going to go too much on that. The problem is they started the window so good. They got McAllister so early, and getting him for such a cheap price, one of the best deals for me in the summer, along with Maddison. Szoboszlai, if I pronounce wrong, I really apologize, but he's such a fine player, man, and I think many clubs have missed out on great talent. So again, well done to the Liverpool scouting team, the Liverpool manager Klopp, for getting this guy, such a nice player. And then you go on to Endo. I think that's just to provide a backup. Gravenberch can be a good player, but the problem is, I think the outs have been good. Fabinho, I respect him. At his prime, he was one of the top, but right now he's not at that level. I think Jordan Henderson has been a great player for Liverpool, but he wasn't at that level. Firmino left, Chamberlain, Keita, and Milner. And again, I will say, I really thought Liverpool were having a great window. I always thought if they replace Fabinho, Henderson, and Milner with Szoboszlai, McAllister, and let's say Alavia, I think it would have been a great window. And if they would have signed a centre back backup to Van Dijk, Konate, where Konate is a player that's very injury prone, I would have given them a 10 out of 10 window, because I think they could 100% have gone for the title. But now a lot of Liverpool season depends on the fitness of Konate. A lot of Liverpool season still depends on the performance of the attack, which is still one of the best in the league. And again, in the midfield, they're short on CDMs, and they've started the season very well. But sadly, at some point, being neutral here, that will catch them. If you don't have a proper natural CDM, it's going to catch you at some point. And not even having one of them, I think, is something which is not really good for Liverpool. I have to be really honest. So this is why I've given them 7 out of 10. McAllister, Szoboszlai are still very good midfielders, and upgrade them for last year. But again, they could have done so much more. And coming on to the next club, another well-run club, and which continue to be the well-run club, Manchester City, the defending champions, the treble winners, and they have got each and everything spot on in the transfer activities. Everything spot on. Yes, they lost Gundogan. Yes, they lost Marves. They let Palmer go, but it's a pure profit on the books. But the way they are building shows why they are such a well-run club. They never act instantly. They never get themselves embarrassed like Liverpool have this window, and Chelsea and United have done many windows getting the type of players we have. They are such a well-run club. They sell players very nicely right now, get big profits on the book, and along with that, they are again and again evolving the style of the team. Last season, they went for Haaland. Now you can see with Guardiola, they're defensively so strong. They have been defensively very good in the league so far. They have Guardiola, Ake, Akanji, Diaz, Stones, Kyle Walker, Rico Lewis, and so many more. Even I've missed any name. They're defensively so strong. Kovacic in a possession-based team can be really good. Matheus Nunes has a lot of potential, which Pep can really get out of him. And then you've got Jeremy Doku, another very good player. And they still have Phil Foden. Kevin De Bruyne will be back in some time. They still have Haaland, Alvarez, Jack Grealish. I think that team is fully built proper, and they have kept themselves the same level. Why I give them 8 out of 10 is Gundogan is going to be a massive mess. But why they deserve 8 out of 10 is they did not let the level drop. It's still good, and they still have a calm window where the squad has not been affected. It's not been chaotic. So well done to Manchester City to be one of the best run club in the league. And that brings me to right now the most talked about club, even more than Chelsea, is Manchester United. And I think their window has not been that bad. And I think if they were a well-run club, if they brought some players earlier and got rid of some players, I think it will be one of the best windows of the season. But the problem is the off-field factors, which I won't talk about, and the problems with their team selling players and delaying the buying of the players is something which really puts them in an embarrassing position. I think if you see their window really, I think Mount, I'm a Chelsea fan saying that I wish him the best, and I think he will come really good. Right now, the guy did not even play football for Chelsea since December due to injury, and I think he has to be given some time and patience. But I think if used, again, I will say properly by Erik ten Hag, I want Erik ten Hag, if I was a Chelsea fan, he was playing at Chelsea, I would want Mason Mount to play at the right, Bruno to play at cam, and then Rashford at the left, and then Casemiro, Amrabat in the midfield, whereas Anthony for me is not providing any impact, and I think that will be better for United. And Mount can do a great job at right wing. Onana transformed them. People can say he should have saved Declan Rice shot. Say what you want, he's still a player that's transformed them in playing style. And adding Amrabat and Casemiro, where Casemiro can even get a rest. You still have Mason Mount there, even who can provide backup to Bruno. and then you've brought Højlund, a proper striker. Yes, he might still be very young and he might not straight away fire, but that's still better than having Anthony Martial, who is not the Martial we know, and the guy right now is just absolutely awful in terms of what he used to be. So I think it was a very good window overall, but the way Amrabat deal is dragged on, the off-field factors, I think it makes United look very embarrassing in front of the world, and that is the problem. But I think if they properly run as a club, if sadly they've not got rid of Maguire and McTominay and players, but still they use Amrabat properly after the big Erik ten Hag gets the proper style into the team, I think they still have a fine window, and I'll still give them, I will 7.5. It would have been an 8.5 if they got rid of Maguire and McTominay, or even a 9. But sadly, that's not been the case. If they added a Todibo, if they added one more centre back, it would have been a great window for me, because again, if Varane is an injury-prone player, I think Lindelof can still do a fine job with Martinez. And if Luke Shaw is fit, I think he can do a fine job. Regulon is a part-time signing. He might do well, he might not. So I think centre-back is a position they're short in. And if they were able to sell Maguire and McTominay, they would have 100% signed Todibo, and that would have been one of the best windows. But sadly, they're not a well-run club. And that brings me to Tottenham, who have been the surprising part of the season, but again been really good. And I think I was really positive about them even as a Chelsea fan. I knew they were going to do well. And I think they've had a fine window, but again, not really great window. But on the field, they're having a very, very good one. Why? I think letting Harry Kane go was the right decision, because the money you were getting, you cannot refuse. And it's time to build without Harry Kane. So I think that was a fine decision. They've let go of Davinson Sanchez. Spence has gone on a loan. Lucas Moreira, Ndembele has gone on loan as well. Regulon was not good enough for Spurs, to be honest, and they have much better options than him right now. Tanganga has gone on loan. Winks has gone. I think it's been a great window in terms of outing of the club. They're slowly getting rid of the players who weren't good enough for the club, and Harry Kane is away from that, but they had to go away from Harry Kane's shadow and get that money and move forward. In the ends, Brennan Johnson can be a very fine signing for the future. Maddison is, oh my god, what a player. What a cheap player they've got for the price they've got, my goodness. Mickey Van de Ven looks a fine player. Why Pedro Porro Kulusevski are in the list is because the deals have been made permanent only this transfer window. And then Vicario is a fine goalkeeper. He started a bit dodgy, but the guy has a lot of potential. And then Phillips, who I don't know much about. Solomon is a player I always said will be a good signing, and this guy can prove to be really good. He has a really good shot in him as well. And again, Welles. But I think why I give them 7 out of 10 is I think Spurs left it too late, and I still believe they're a centre-back shot, and I still believe they need to sign one more striker. Son played striker in last game and played really well, but in whole season, is it sustainable? I still think they need a striker. Richarlison is not good enough, and I think that is where Tottenham are really short, and I think they still need one more centre-back. I still think they need one more centre-back, and that is where Daniel Levy has failed. Even before, I will say in terms of May, I was saying Tottenham need one more centre-back. Okay, Bentancur will be back after injury with some time. They still have Bissouma. Pape Matar might do well, but they need a centre-back, and I think they failed in that. So I'm giving Tottenham a 7 out of 10. These are my ratings, my opinion. If you disagree, any feedback, do let me know. And please like, please subscribe, and do let me know your opinion and your transfer rating of the top 6 club in the league. Thank you. Wishing you all the best. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, everyone. Wishing you the best.